why a fan can kill you.
It
Let's
is
see.
hot right now. Genuinely, historically hot. And if you were sitting in a room somewhere watching this and it's uncomfortable, you probably have a fan running.
Yeah.
Maybe you even have two.
I have one.
But here's something that nobody tells you. Under the right conditions, that fan is making things worse. Not a little worse, potentially fatally worse. Blowing hot air across your skin when the temperature crosses a certain threshold doesn't cool you down. It speeds up the process and that'll kill you. And right now, in parts of this planet, those conditions already
Oh, we're safe in Europe.
exist. This is the story of wet bulb temperature. A number most people have never heard of. A threshold the human body cannot negotiate. And a climate reality that is arriving faster than almost anyone expected.
Yo, that is crazy, Chad. Can you imagine? They predicted this temperature to be on 2050. We're 2030 now.
But to understand why,
not even
you first
2030.
need to understand what your body is actually doing when it's hot. And to understand why a fan can kill you, you first need to understand how your body cools itself.
Yep.
Because most people think the answer is sweating.
Nope.
It's not. Not exactly. Sweating is just the delivery system. The actual cooling mechanism is evaporation.
Facts.
When sweat sits on your skin and evaporates, turning liquid into vapor, it carries away energy with it. Thermal energy, heat. That's the process your body is depending on every single second when you're hot. Without evaporation, sweat is just wet.
That's why humidity makes things worse.
Does nothing. This is why humid days feel so much worse than dry ones at the same temperature.
Pretty much.
In dry air, sweat evaporates quickly.
So rain is bad? Are you mentally...
even notice you're sweating because it's gone before it builds up. In humid air, on the other hand, the atmosphere is already packed with moisture and evaporation slows right down. You feel drenched. You feel like the heat is suffocating you because in a very real sense, your cooling system is being limited. Your body produces heat constantly, just from being alive.
People say rain isn't good because it just makes it warmer. No, Kai is going to go live in 57 minutes.
From your heart beating to your cells burning fuel. At rest, you're generating roughly 80 watts of heat. Do anything physical and that number climbs fast. Exercise and you can hit 6, 7, 800 watts. And all of that heat has to go somewhere. Evaporation is the primary exit route. And when that exit route closes, something has to give. And scientists found a way to measure exactly when that system starts to fail. It's
Italian flag.
Wet bulb temperature. Most people have never even heard of it.
Yep.
Meteorologists have been measuring this problem for over 200 years using something called a wet bulb thermometer. It's almost comically simple. You take a regular thermometer, wrap its tip in a damp cloth, and expose it to the air. As water evaporates from the cloth, it cools down the thermometer. The reading you get, the wet bulb temperature, tells you exactly how efficiently evaporation is working in that moment. In dry air, the wet bulb temperature is much lower than the actual air temperature because the water evaporates easily and it cools the thermometer significantly.
That's so sigma.
In humid air, that gap closes. The wet bulb temperature creeps toward the actual air temperature, and if the air becomes fully saturated, 100% humidity, there's no evaporation at all. The wet bulb temperature and the air temperature become identical. And this number, the wet bulb temperature, is arguably one of the most important climate metrics that most people have never even heard of. Because it doesn't just tell you how hot it is, it tells you how hot your body experiences the heat.
So Europe is basically fries then, no? For sure, Western Europe.
It tells you whether your cooling system can function or not. And there is a specific wet bulb temperature beyond which the human body simply cannot.
Wait, but how is my fan gonna kill me?
Cope. So, what is that number? And what does it actually mean for your body? 35 degrees Celsius, wet bulb. That is the threshold. Above it, the physics stop working in your favor. Your body temperature
it feels like I'm watching a video in high school, bro.
For heat to leave your body into the surrounding air, the surrounding air needs to be able to accept it. At wet bulb temperature of 35 degrees, the air is so hot and so saturated with moisture that evaporation from your skin becomes essentially zero. Your body keeps generating heat, it keeps trying to sweat, but there is nowhere for the heat or the sweat to go.
Oh, that's fries.
Core temperatures begin to rise. And unlike a fever, where the body deliberately rises the temperature of the body to fight infection, that rise is uncontrolled. Heat stroke, organ failure, and eventually
Oh my days, so our body just keeps warming up.
death. And this is where the fan comes in. At moderate temperatures, a fan helps by moving air across your skin
Facts,
and
you just call
accelerating
that.
evaporation. That's the whole point of a fan. But when the air temperature rises above your skin temperature, roughly 35 degrees, a fan stops helping with evaporation and starts doing something else. It's now blowing air that is hotter than you onto your skin. You are essentially absorbing heat from the moving air. The fan is now a convection heater aimed at your body.
Oh my days. That makes sense.
Add high humidity to that, close to the wet bulb threshold, and you have a worst case scenario. Evaporation is already failing. The fan cannot restart it, but it can.
Wait, that's why this spray is so OP. Because I remember my body was getting very hot. I sprayed that cold water and oh my god, I'm so smart.
Increase the rate at which hot air transfers its heat to you. Under those conditions, the fan does not save you. It accelerates the process that will kill you. This is not a theoretical concern. This is documented. Studies have shown that in elderly people whose cardiovascular systems struggle to compensate, a fan in extreme heat and humid conditions measurably increase core temperatures rather than reducing it. Now, here is the part that should genuinely alarm you. Scientists studying historical climate data believed, until fairly recently, that a sustained wet bulb temperature of 35 degrees was essentially unprecedented in the modern era, something to worry about in the future. A threshold humanity had not yet crossed.
Fries.
They were wrong. A 2020 study published in Science Advances analyzed decades of weather station data and had found that the wet bulb temperature of 35 degrees, or at least very close to it, had already occurred in South Asia, in the Persian Gulf, in parts of the American Midwest,
Damn,
and in
it's
the Gulf
already
Coast.
happening.
These events were short, hours, not days, but they happened, and they happened more frequently than anyone had predicted. The
I ain't gonna keep it here, but that's crazy.
Persian Gulf
though.
city of Bandar Mashhar in Iran recorded a wet bulb temperature of approximately 34.6 degrees in 2015, combined with an air temperature of 46 degrees.
Yikes.
Conditions that set at the absolute.
The guy voice is so boring. You gotta fix on his speaking, yeah, but that is very interesting.